So welcome everyone for our introductory session today, primer on Ayurveda, the e-course. So we are really excited because we just got approval for the CPE for this course. So we're hoping more and more dietitians would join us. So let me go on with the slideshow. First of all, we're going to start with introductions. Okay. So I'm Pushpa Soundarajan. I've been a dietitian for over 30 years, and I went to UIC in Chicago, did my training there, and I've worked in several settings. I started with dialysis, my first job, and then after that, I've worked a lot in renal, and I've been in practice for the last 6 years, almost 7, as a renal dietitian, or also see other patients as well. So in 2013, I fell into Ayurveda. Ayurveda came into my life, I should say, and I was really fascinated by the subject, and I applied it to my own life, my own personal life, and it was fantastic. I felt so much more energy. I felt so good applying a lot of the principles, diet and lifestyle. So then I also started using it with a lot of my patients as well, kind of like integrating it into my practice. And I found such wonderful results because of that. Most of all, the best thing I see with all my patients is that they have so much of energy, they feel good, and it's a very simple way to practice. So Gauri and myself met in 2016 at an Ayurveda conference, and then we became friends since then. It was I guess it was meant to be our path. And then 2018, we actually wrote a couple of books. And of course, one book, actually, we published our first book, Primer on Ayurveda. Before that, I had given a couple of webinars to dietitians. I saw there was a lot of interest in the subject because everybody's looking for that holistic approach nowadays. So anyway, when we both got together, we decided to write a book together in 2018. We published our first book, which is Primer on Ayurveda, meant as a guide for dietitians, nutritionists, and other healthcare professionals to incorporate Ayurveda with their patients. And then in 2020, we published our second book, which for the consumer edition, we included yoga also as a component because yoga is part of Ayurveda as a sister science and also used as therapy in Ayurveda. So then once we did that, we said, we need to revise the first edition. So we made a revised edition and then made the book a lot bigger, makes it look a lot nicer. It's completely in color and everything else. So that's the book we'll be using for this course. Then other things, I've been a yoga teacher for about 20 years now. And over 20 years, I've been teaching yoga the last 3 years. And I do teach some of my patients yoga if they are interested. I do have packages. So from a dietitian perspective, a lot of people are looking for this holistic approach nowadays. And I think that's where it kind of makes you a unique dietitian when you have that in your toolbox. And of course, if you are trained in yoga, that adds another component as well. So this is why we're so excited to bring this course. And most of all, we've been trying so hard to get CPE and finally got it. And we're really, really excited about that because I think this means we're getting some kind of an approval from the academy for us to incorporate that into our practice. So that's my introduction. So now I'm going to give it to Gauri and let her introduce herself, and then we'll start with the session itself. Go ahead, Gauri.
Thank you so much, Pushpa. And, we're really excited to have you, all of you participate in our info session. And let me give you a little of what I do. So I was trained as an Ayurvedic physician in India. I got my BMS. I'm a classically trained Vaidya, and then I came here to my master's in nutrition. I'm a registered licensed dietitian as well. And I'm also a certified diabetes educator as well. And what I found over the years is that, with integrating with Ayurveda and into especially that with nutrition, again, there's profound results we see, especially, and not only, for gut health, weight loss, as well as, and how the way Pushpa is saying, a lot of energy for the patients as well. And we find that this is a very, very easy things to follow in Ayurveda and integrates really well. And over the years, I also had, integrated a lot of the Ayurvedic therapies and things as well as part of the practice. So again, we are very excited to have all of you here. And we hope that, you'll join us in our journey with Ayurveda and help us spread the word with Ayurveda as well.
Let's get started. We'll go through the modules, what the program is all about, and then we'll talk about some logistics at the end of the session. So first of all, the required textbook is basically our book that we wrote in 2020. And then we'll also have some PDFs of the documents, the recordings. Once we do our talks, we have the PDFs of all of our talks. So you'll have that for referral, and then you can make notes on that. We'll also have video recordings of the module sessions, which is going to be in addition to our live session. So we'll be doing a live session. This time we're doing a little different from last time. This time, even during the live session, which is about an hour and a half long, we're going to be talking about the whole subject and have time for questions. But at the same time, we'll also be sharing some of the recorded videos from before for reinforcement. So you can go back and reinforce all of the information that you listen on the live. Again, there'll be live sessions every 2 weeks. So we'll be reviewing each of those modules, and then duration usually around 1.5 hours every 2 weeks. And then the cooking workshop at the end of the thing, the 9th module is going to be about 4 hours. We'll have a little break in between, so about a half-hour break in between, so total 4 hours. And the 8th module is going to be our case presentation. So whatever we study in the first 7 modules, you will be applying to, you'll have a couple of clients, you would write a case report for 2 people, but then at least one of them you're going to be presenting at the end of the 8th module. So everybody can listen. And then we'll have a little bit of a discussion so you know how to apply it in your own practice. So the first module, I'm sorry, I don't know, it goes on its own. The first module is going to be covering chapter 1 and 2, which is basically the definition of Ayurveda, the history, the pillars of Ayurveda, the 3 pillars, as well as some basic concepts like what are the doshas, which is basically the body types, the trigunas, which is the mental rajas, sattva, rajas, tamas, then the agni, which is the digestive fire, how the digestion works in the body, ama, which is the toxins, and also malas. These will be like basic concepts to be covered. We'll do more detail in the later modules. Second module, of course, the most interesting of all is learning about the different body types. And we will talk about how we arrive at the body types, what the characteristics are, and things like that. Module 3 is going to be about Ayurvedic nutrition. That's where we get into chapter 4, actually talk about the nutrition, how to use food as medicine. We'll talk about the 6 stays in detail. We'll talk about Viruddha Ahara, because Viruddha Anna or Viruddha wrong combinations, not just the food combining, but also wrong combinations with the environment, a lot of different things. We will be discussing that. Module 4 is going to be covering all of the spices. So we have about a dozen spices in our book. So we will be covering all of those spices in detail. And these actually have a lot of studies, done on these. So definitely that's going to be evidence-based, and how you use those spices. And we'll talk about a couple of herbs as well. We'll definitely talk about ghee and honey, which are very important for Ayurveda, used as a medium to give some of these herbs and spices. Number 5, module 5 is going to be talking about dosha pacifying diet. So vata, pitta, and kapha, what kind of choices you would make based on all the different groups, which is suitable for each of these body types. We'll go in detail. We'll also talk about the dosha clock, or the daily routine, how even the day is split up into vata, pitta, and kapha, and which is the optimum time to eat your good meal, when you should be eating a lighter meal, things like that. So it'll all be based on metabolism and the circadian rhythm, which is being talked about nowadays. So we'll discuss that in module 5. Module 6, we are going to talk about dinacharya, which is a daily routine. Again, the dosha clock I mentioned. And then the ritucharya, which is a seasonal routine. Now, again, Ayurveda puts a lot of emphasis on daily routine and seasonal routine, because our body responds to the seasons. Especially if you're living with 4 seasons every year, you know that, allergy comes in the springtime, and then you get dryness in the fall and things like that. So we need to know how to protect our body and mind with our diet and lifestyle. So we'll definitely discuss all of that. Module 7, again, go in detail about Agni, which is a digestive fire or the metabolic fire, how we metabolize food that we eat, how we metabolize our thoughts, how can we improve that, what is an indication of a bad Agni or a good Agni, things like that. Then Ama is a toxins that is built up in the body if your digestive fire is not good. Then we'll talk about the ama, how these toxins build up and how we can help ourselves. We'll talk about boosting immunity, because once you have a lot of toxins in the body, the immunity level goes down. So definitely there are a lot of things you can do with diet and lifestyle to boost your immunity. So we'll talk about that. And then it's called ojas. Ojas is the purest form of, which is created from our whatever food we eat. That is like after all the tissues are formed, that is the purest essence that is formed. That is not there, and immunity is weakened quite a bit. So we will be talking about that. Module 8 is going to be, again, practical applications. We'll talk about some counseling tips. What kind of person walks into your door. You can understand them just based on the body types. And you also will learn about how you can actually help them based on how their mind works, rather than just giving the same thing to everybody, because we all know as dietitians, everybody doesn't respond to things the same way. So you learn a lot about that. And of course, we will have a case study presentation during this session. So everybody will be required to have at least 2 cases. Again, you start preparing right from the beginning. And then the culmination is going to be module 8, where you will present at least 1 case study. And we'll also have each of us will do 1 case study for example, so you know exactly how to do that as well. The last one, module 9, holds it all together. Of course, very important Ayurvedic cooking workshop. Last time we didn't do that as part of the thing, but this time we decided that's kind of an important component to have, because you have to teach your clients how to cook your food, how to modify the food according to your doshas. Because spice mixes are a big part of it. In fact, I have done a video on spice mixes, the National Kidney Foundation, to use spice mixes in a low sodium diet. So again, other people are getting interested in this as well. And of course, herbal teas is a big part of Ayurveda, which helps with digestion and all of that. And again, khichdi is like the most easily digestible food that we eat. So we'll talk about how to prepare that and how to modify again for the doshas and things like that. So this will be a 4-hour session. And then the last one I'm going to cover, then I'm going to hand it over to Gauri. So there will be quizzes after each module. It's about 10 to 12 questions and multiple choice. It's not that difficult. Basically, you fill it out. And then assignments will be given with every module, depending on what it is. And some of them will be very application oriented. So there'll be a little thinking involved, applying to a case or something like that. We haven't, we did a lot of those before. But anyway, so we'll be giving those assignments. Again, you will have to the end of the course to finish that assignment. I mean, obviously, you want to finish it after each module so it doesn't pile up. But if you do miss a couple of times, you can always finish it by the end of the course. The course itself with the live session is going to be about 4 months, and then we'll have it for another 2 months after that. So you'll have that 6 months to finish that. 1 case presentation should be done during the live session, module 8. And then attendance for the live session is mandatory for CPEs for RDN. So you want your CPEs, the quizzes are mandatory, assignments are mandatory, the case presentation is also mandatory, and the live session as well. Because unless you do the work, you really are not going to get the foundation strong in your mind. So that is I think that is one thing we learned from the last session we did. It was great, everybody, we had 9 students, we were really thrilled. We had great students who were interested in the subject. So we didn't emphasize the assignment. Some people did it, some people, I know life happens and people get caught up. But in my own experience, I studied Ayurveda for 2.5 years, trained with the Ayurvedic Vaidya, I learned the lessons and we had quizzes. Everything I had to do it was required. And that's why I actually learned it, because unless we apply what we learned, we're not going to learn. Just by listening to somebody, it's not enough. So this time we said, we need this because, and again, for CPEs, that's definitely a requirement. So that is what it is. It is going to be a wonderful, wonderful session. And I know for a fact that this program is going to be helpful, not just to help your clients, but you help yourself as well. Because once you start applying these to your own life, you're going to see that energy, the burst of energy and, the happiness and everything that comes with that, the good health that comes with that. So basically, that's what it is. So I'm going to hand it over to Gauri now. She will go through the dates and the logistics and some FAQs at the end. And then we'll leave it open for some questions. Go ahead, Gauri.
Thank you so much, Pushpa. So we talk about the course details. The required book is our Primer on Ayurveda, the 2nd edition. We are going to start October 15th. The end date is going to be February 25th. Again, that's tentative, depending upon, if there are certain things that we have to take care of things. Cost-wise, it's $8.99 for all modules, including the 4 hours of cooking workshop. Now, those students who have attended our courses earlier, we do have a special pricing. So if you have attended our course earlier, please make sure that you contact us for the special pricing as well. The mode of delivery is going to be online via Zoom. We're going to be using the Google Classroom for all the modules, assignments, quizzes, all the supporting articles, everything will be posted in the Google Classroom. When it comes to access, the access to all the videos, you will have access once you register for the course, even 2 months after the course ends. So if the course ends by, let's say, February 25th, you will have access to up to 12 p.m. CST, April 23rd. So there's plenty of time to catch up on the different things and review of different things as well. We're also going to provide support for Q&A, any comments and things via the Google Classroom. So let's talk about some of the FAQs so that we understand who this course is for. So who is this course for? Again, this is specifically designed for dietitians, nutritionists, healthcare professionals who want to learn more about Ayurvedic nutrition, lifestyle, and how to apply it in practice. What does this course provide? So it provides knowledge about all the Ayurveda basics. We're going to talk extensively about Ayurvedic nutrition. We're going to talk about the practical applications, complete assessments for the clinical setting, and some Ayurvedic cooking tips as well. Who is this? What this course is not? So let's be aware of that as well. So this course does not provide certification Ayurvedic nutrition. So this course does not provide certification on Ayurvedic nutritionist. We will be providing you a completion certificate at the end of the session program once you've completed all the required things like assignments, quizzes. You've attended all the sessions live, especially for RDNs. Make sure that you understand that in order to get the CPUs, you have to attend all the sessions, the live sessions. Are there CPUs available? Yes. And we are very, very happy and very excited to say that, yes, we have got approval for our course. And we once you complete all the sessions, you complete all the assignments, and you attend all the sessions live, you'll be eligible for the 16 CPUs for the course. When do we get the course schedule and log information? So once a participant has signed up and paid up for the course, we will be sending in a welcome email with the course scheduled. The course session login will be provided 1 day before the start of the individual modules. Now, is there a discount for the course? Yes, we do have an early bird. So there's a $100 discount available on course fees if a participant signs up the e-course by September 25th, 2022. So that's the early bird special we have. When will we get the certification completion? As I said, once you attend the course module sessions, you finish all your assignments, all the required quizzes, and especially for RDNs, you attend all your sessions live in order to get your CPUs. At the end, once you finish all the required things, then the certification of completion of the course will be emailed to you. We do have a cancellation refund policy, so that's something that you want to be aware of. That the e-course can be cancelled up to 12 p.m. CST, 14th October 2022 to receive a refund of the e-course fees minus if there's any chargeback fees. Please note that there's no refund that will be available after the course cancellation deadline, which is the 12 p.m. CST. October 14 has passed, and once the course starts. E-course is considered as a digital product and cannot be returned and exchanged. As the digital products are considered intangible, there is strict no refund policy after the cancellation deadline has passed. So make sure that you have reviewed all the course information, the course, access to the course module videos, frequently asked questions, the cancellation refund policy before you make the purchase for the e-course. Make sure that you purchase the e-course only after you have read all the information and you've decided this is the right course for you.
Have a great afternoon, everyone. Bye.
Thank you so much, everyone.